Hello, everyone. Hopefully this is working. Let us know in the chat. And hi, welcome to another odd-shaped panel. Tonight we're discussing anti-heroes, as well as talking about Deadpool 2 real quick. We won't get into spoiler territory, just our, general
feelings.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, seems like we're working the chat. Real quick, let's say hello to everyone who's joined us. We got Billy Paulahan, Joe and Ashley Davis, Tom Zambino, Eric Ossemacher, Eric Monroe, and Cal the Kingslayer.
Get out of here.
We just got a new light because if anyone saw our last broadcast, we were just in darkness. Incredibly clear.
Ooh.
Maybe it's a good thing our laptop died. Now we can move, but we're mad that we lost stuff. But it's all right. We can figure it out. We can make new stuff.
But yeah, hopefully it does look better. And we do want to say a thank you to our patrons, because without you guys, it would have really put a lot of stress on us to have our computer die on the day of a show. But luckily we have some wonderful supporters, and we were able to get another computer so that we can do this tonight. Thank you, Eric. What are you typing? Let's talk to the people.
I was just being...
Hat boy jokes.
Yeah, the thing is we have to... Well, there's a whole thing.
Later.
But when we have more money, maybe we'll try that. All right, so while we were waiting for some more people to get in and start the questions, I guess we might as well talk about Deadpool 2 real quick.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen Deadpool 2, then
we're not
going
to go spoilers.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go crazy. Not only are we going to talk about Deadpool 2, but we're going to talk about seeing Deadpool 2 at the Alamo Drafthouse. It was our first Alamo Drafthouse experience, and gotta say, theater,
it was awesome.
Pretty cool. So it was our first one.
I took Tom for his birthday.
She did, thank you. And I mean, the menus were themed for the movie. They had like a little if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, you probably saw the little Deadpool mask they have there. On the back of that, that's a bar menu.
They had a menu of chimichangas, of course, for Deadpool, and some custom drinks, and it was an awesome time.
Yeah. So overall, the theater experience was really good. I thought it was going to be distracting having a table and a wait staff, because we didn't get a lot of food, but we got some queso, because we try queso everywhere we go now that we're in Austin.
It's my favorite food group, just queso.
And hello, Jeannine. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, so overall, I thought this experience was great. Nobody was talking during the whole movie. They
will kick you out, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah, thanks, Cal, for being on top of the moderator stuff.
Yeah, the movie was really great. And
it was bogged down by the origin story, as is the case of most first movies in the franchise. There was a lot of unexpected turns in Deadpool. They were really clever with some of the things that they did. If you haven't seen it, I think you definitely should. And,
yeah, I liked the first one a lot, but I do think that it almost suffered from trying to work itself around that first scene that they put out to kind of sell the movie. And there was a lot to like in this one, and I liked that it was so different, but definitely felt
and
within the realm of.
Eric Monroe, definitely stay around for post credits, because they were really good, as Eric Monroe's pointing out. Cory just had his, and welcome Cory. Cory just had his first Alamo Drafthouse experience too, so awesome. I think I saw Tom Zambino asked if Alamo Drafthouse is really that big of a deal.
And thank you, Jeannine and Eric, for your kind comments in the chat.
To answer Tom, yeah, I guess it's kind of a big deal. Like, Kimber's friend Josh is super excited to visit a location.
Yeah, he's in Florida, and he's dying to get out here to go to Alamo Drafthouse. It's really more of an experience. It's fun, and especially if you like to drink, which we don't, but Josh does. You get to have that option, and just the ambiance of having a menu that's catered towards some of the movies, and they had a pre-credits whole show that they put together. It was just a little bit more fun than going and seeing a movie in a regular theater.
Cory says he wants to live in one. They're cool. All the different locations have different themes, from what I understand. And
Randall
works there. Everyone who knows who Mondo is now, they put out like these custom prints of like record. Like I have a Twin Peaks Mondo record, prints, t-shirts, all like that. They started in like the lobby of an Alamo Drafthouse, so that's cool. Everyone was friendly there. Like,
yeah, Austin.
But yeah, friendly. We gotta say the bar for friendliness is pretty standard, I guess. Just making sure I get everybody as Cory. They come in. Cory. Oh, that's why.
You got Ashley. Yeah.
I got him. Look, I got everybody.
So yeah,
real quick.
Are you just gonna shout everyone out?
Yeah, we're just gonna. We got to, now that we're in Austin and we're able to do stuff, we might as well talk about what we're doing. So if you're ever over here visiting us, or just in Austin, you should definitely check some places out. We went to the Fallout Theater, a little comedy club underneath a Freemason building.
Next to, but yeah.
Well, it's the same building. They're in the lower. Yeah, but the building's cool. It should be. Masons made it. But yeah, that was really fun. We went to like it was like an event where they like pulled people out of the crowd, and both Kimber and I got pulled out, and we got to have a good time. It was like a little competition for Olive Garden, even though it was like a half chance that we would have gotten it, just because there's 4 people who got pulled up.
We didn't win.
We're boring.
There's a guy who got vulgar about fruit, so he
won. Yeah.
We also went to. Can you hear us now?
How's that? This is our backup. Ba-da.
No, still no sound?
Oh, wait, I didn't save. Maybe. How's that? Is that any better? Okay.
Okay, good.
When I'm going to check again, let us know how the quality of this is, because I haven't used this mic on this. Well, this laptop's brand new, so I haven't gotten that brand new to use. But
sorry, I don't know where it cut out, but we went to the Emerald Tavern Cafe and the Vigilante Gastropub, which were both board game, bar, cafe type scenarios, and it was really neat. They brought out menus for board games as well as food, and at Vigilante it was neat. Like, what I ordered was the slider. It was called the Thai Fighter, but THAI, and it was like Thai food themed, really good. But I think we should get to colors.
Yeah, we should probably do that. Hello, Mr. Barrett. Welcome.
Also, common interest. Tom is wearing the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 7-day-a-week karaoke bar.
It's
and
awesome.
We've been there several times. Really fun.
Yeah. And again, really nice staff and people.
Hi, Dad.
All right. So we wanted to do this. Let's see if it works.
Inspired by the karaoke bar, we're going to try a thing.
Kimber came up with this after we went out. Real quick, let's see how this works.
Bear with us here. Trying and saying. Yeah, we've met some really nice people at that karaoke bar, and some of them are just really good at karaoke. We need the elevator music from Community. Keep going. You got this.
It's the eye of the tiger. We'll do this. Right. And then shabam.
Did it work?
I don't know if it worked.
Oh no.
Do you
Sorry,
see anything?
Guys, new computer, so we're
No, I don't know. That's a Google thing. Can you see us? Mama, can you see me? Nope. All right. Well,
damn.
we try to do a thing.
Okay, so what we were trying to do is put a lower third that said the queue for the next 3 people, but we'll work on that. We'll get it to work later. Why don't we do our first caller? Who have coming up?
We have our friend Billy Paulhan.
I know that guy.
I want to get rid of this now. It won't let me. Get out of here. Just hide it. It'll go away.
So yeah, recap for people who just came into the room. Our computer died today, and this is a brand new computer. So
well, again, refurbished. We got it for a pretty good
deal. I mean, new to us.
New to us.
We're still learning all the little quirks.
I wish we could get a new computer, but this is a big upgrade, as you can tell. I might think this might be our best looking one yet.
They can't see. Do you mean best looking like camera quality? Or?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, physically, it's not falling apart at the seams, which was the problem for the other one. Just rotting out. We've
never been a high budget production.
No. But we do have to thank our patrons yet again at patreon.com/oddshapechannel, our patrons and our patron producers. We love you all. So I sent you an invite, Billy. You're one of those people who just come in. So I don't know what you're doing.
Hopefully it won't be weird.
The blue.
It's not even an option.
Weird.
So.
Okay. Hey.
Did it unplug?
No, it's
plugged in.
You can see the light on. But that's probably doing a thing. So it's the content that counts. Well, then I guess no, we're not the same. Thought it looked a little better. A little polished.
We're the Stannis Baratheon of podcasts because we're not the best, but we're Eric's favorite.
Well, that makes us the best. Okay, Billy, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This is for Billy. Everyone in the chat pretty much knows what's up. So,
Eric liked it. Looks like we got a little bit of a delay too.
A little bit. Here's Billy.
Hey guys.
Howdy.
Let's go.
It's going all right. I'm loving the Lilu haircut.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to switch it up. I'm already planning like what the next color I want to do is. I get bored so quick with the hair. But
So you're like Ramona Flowers. You just change your hairstyle like all the time.
I felt personally attacked when she said that. Yes.
I'm sorry. I mean, like Ramona Flowers in the fact that you change your hair, not because, not the character.
No, I was saying that when I saw the movie and I heard the dialogue, I felt like that was directed right at me.
Look, if there's some evil exes that come out of the woodwork, I'm just going to have to do what I'm going to have to do. But I heard Negatom's a really nice guy, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Anyway, anti-heroes.
Yeah. So I guess it would help if we knew the questions.
They're right there. Go get them.
Go get them? They're not here. Those are the side questions.
Oh. Did you write down the questions?
Yeah, I think I know what they are. The first one is, Billy, what is it?
Hold on a second. I'm pulling them up. What is the most interesting relationship between hero and anti-hero? And that question was by my friend Tom Zambino at Road Raider 3.
Yes, and in the description, currently, I put a 0 in front of the 3. There's not supposed to be a 1. I will fix it after the broadcast. So,
cool.
Ba-da-bum-bum.
Did you have an answer for that question, buddy?
I did. This is going to be very out of the box answer, but I actually picked Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Now, when you really get down to it, I think that Sherlock Holmes is an anti-hero. He hates everybody except for John Watson for some reason. Like, he does what he does just to solve the case. He doesn't do it like sometimes he can do it for like being good, but generally he just does it because he just wants to solve the case. He does not care about like money or anything like that. And that to me sounds like very he's not like a very traditional hero, but yeah, just Sherlock and John, they've always had like a really good relationship. And it's weird because Sherlock does not have a good relationship with like anybody, like because he is just so smart and egotistical and arrogant. I don't know if that will count as an answer, but it's the answer that I'm going with.
Oh, he's definitely an anti-hero. I mean, he's also
he's a junkie,
yeah,
and a narcissist for sure. So yeah, that's interesting.
Puzzles are more important than people.
People are puzzles.
That too. So
yeah.
That's all right. Did you have an answer for this?
Which one was this? The interesting relationship. Yes,
Yeah.
I chose Kick-Ass and Hit Girl. Hit Girl being the anti-hero, of course. I just think it's really interesting to have this dynamic where you have the anti-hero being the person who's more experienced and kind of teaching the to-be hero the ropes, you know, having her, especially as like a female character who's so young, being the one who's badass and, you know, going around with this guy who really does have sort of better intentions than her and better motivations, but showing him how to do what you need to do for better reasons than she has. So, yeah, that's my choice.
Yeah. I mean, great answer. Mine is going to be, I have a real soft spot for Jason Todd and the relationship between Batman and the Red Hood. Red Hood being the anti-hero in this scenario is really interesting. It's very rare to feel like you've lost someone and then for their ghost to like come back and like you actually get a chance at, like to redeem them. Anyone who's not familiar, Jason Todd got killed by the Joker and then got brought back with the Lazarus Pits later, goes crazy for a bit. Then he comes back to Gotham and pretty much just shoots. He's Punisher, essentially. He's Batman Punisher. But I really like the relationship between father and son there because he is an adopted son of Bruce Wayne's. And the movie Under the Red Hood, the animated feature, featuring our boy Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd.
Eric's picking on you.
Yeah. Well, Eric knows I love Jason Todd. And yeah, that's it. I've said it many times, but I have the signed comic book where he dies.
True story. Second question tonight is coming to us from the beautiful, lovely, and talented Jeannine Devine. I'm biased because I love her. And
I love her too.
It's which anti-hero has the most sympathetic backstory?
Okay, another one that I think is going to be out of the box, and I don't think anybody's going to think of this. I picked Salieri from Amadeus.
Ooh.
Because, first of all, Amadeus is a wonderful movie. You should definitely check it out. R.I.P. Milos Forman, the director.
That's the first movie I ever fought on fan fiction.
It is. It is.
One of my favorites.
Aside from just F. Murray Abraham just killing it, you really do sympathize with him in the fact that he worked really hard to get to the position that he was at, which is like the lead conductor in Emperor Joseph II's court in Austria. Essentially, he has a very high position in like the composer business, and he knew he wanted this ever since he was a kid. And then this spoiled, obnoxious, just really immature kid comes along, and he's just 10 times better than him. And he's just like, how could you give him that talent when I worked so hard for this? And he's talking about God, and it's just like, it's like he can't get a break. None of his music is like really remembered, but everybody knows Mozart. I mean, there's the scene with when Mozart comes to court and Salieri makes the little composition. Then Mozart just he hears it and he makes it just 5 times better. And he's just very envious. And man, I could just watch it right now. I probably am going to watch it right after this.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're exactly right. That is his perception on how everything is happening. But when you watch the movie, he's not talking about the things he's doing to, like, spite his God. You know what I mean? Where, like, God lays out very strict commandments, but he's not going to follow them, but he insists that he's a servant of God. So it kind of, like, denotes the difference between, like, religion and the church.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting for your choice because my choice is a different character than yours, but it's for very similar reasons. So I picked Severus Snape. Snape gets a raw deal, man. Like, everyone thinks he's the bad guy the whole time. And yeah, he has some ways about finishing things and doing things that aren't necessarily how somebody who would be considered heroic would do them. But at the end, he's totally redeemed when you figure out that the whole time he was trying to help and doing good things and protecting Harry, despite the fact that he hated his father, which would be like the Mozart in this situation. Snape was like a good kid, man. He was just a little gothy, a little weird. He fell in love with this girl, and she just didn't see him that way, and that's not her fault by any means, but from his point of view, he's just heartbroken and never stopped loving her and lost to what he considers a lesser man. So I just think Snape is one of the most interesting characters of all time and certainly an anti-hero and heroic to me. So his backstory, like if you watch the video that they cut, his backstory, like from his perspective, it's absolutely heart-wrenching. Like, it's one of the saddest things ever. I don't know how anyone couldn't feel a little sympathetic for Snape if you see it that way.
Oh, yeah. For me, I'm on the fence of this because I'm stuck between 2 answers.
He's still choosing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Doctor. He's definitely from Doctor Who. He's definitely an anti-hero. I mean, he's left people to die. He's done some things.
Seen some things.
Yeah, and I mean, for a while, he thinks he's responsible for the death of his entire civilization. So I definitely think, like, especially with the 50th anniversary special, like, you really got to see a better look into, like, how much weight he carries behind those old eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, he's got to be like the greatest metaphor ever for like having a multifaceted person and how like people themselves have many different sides and how the people that know you never know you the same way as another person who knows you.
Or how a person adapts to a situation they're going to have to go into. Like going into the Gallifrey stuff, he knew he was no longer going to be able to be somebody who could heal things. He was going to have to be somebody who could fight. That's where we got John Hurt's Doctor, which was really cool.
I think you might have some people in the chat to comment.
You don't buy the Doctor as an anti-hero? Well, Cory, you wouldn't. But, I mean, the first
Cory hates Fraggles, so let's
the first thing he does, Cory, is steal public property. He's a criminal. And he breaks many laws along the way. How many times has he imposed a police officer? Or posed as a police officer? Answer me this.
He technically does it with the TARDIS. The TARDIS is in disguise as a police box.
The whole time!
He's definitely let people die for his cause, like knowingly, too.
And rounded them up and brought them there and delivered them to death's doorstep. Yes. Yeah, and he has to pay for those crimes too. Every villain in the universe gets together and puts them in the Pandorica. Yeah, what's he puts them in the Pandorica. Like, he is the bad guy in some perceptions. You know what I mean? So.
All right.
Hi, Johnathon.
So question 3 tonight, coming to us from my buddy Nolan at NolanDean27. He asked, what hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline?
And I'm going to shock you guys. I did not come up with an answer. This was a really, really difficult question. I could not think of, for the life of me, anybody, because all the heroes that have been benefited from an anti-hero storyline have been done. I know that sounds very anticlimactic, but yeah, this is one of the rare times where I don't have an answer. And
wow.
Terrible, but I feel like as soon as you say something, it's going to click. But yeah, I got nothing.
You have one.
I have one, yeah. I chose Brienne of Tarth. Brienne of Tarth is one of the few truly good and heroic people in A Song of Ice and Fire. We've seen a lot of characters get more interesting by becoming more corrupted and evil, i.e. Tyrion Lannister, one of my favorite characters from the series. I think it'd be really interesting to see what somebody who has the brute force and fighting skill of Brienne of Tarth could do as somebody who kind of walks the line between hero and villain almost. And they could potentially easily do this because she has, you know, interests on both sides with her affection for Jaime Lannister. And I think it'd just be really interesting to see her switch it up a little bit and, you know, be a little more edgy of a character instead of just a goody two-shoes all the time. So I choose Brienne of Tarth.
I want Darkside Ray.
Yeah, you know what? Now I'm just going to piggyback. It's going to be very cheap, but I kind of want to see Podrick as an anti-hero now. I know now that you said Brienne of Tarth and her being a goody two-shoes, Podrick's pretty much the same way. When you get down to it, he's a really good guy. And it would be kind of like, whoa, where did that come from? But in the world of Game of Thrones, it kind of makes sense. Everybody does some things.
Yeah. So. I think Eric is rolling his eyes because in his eyes, she is a murderer because she has murdered Stannis Baratheon.
The fake king, by the way.
What you got to understand is that
her and Jaime are both Kingslayers. Sorry, go ahead.
2 interruptions simultaneously. But what you got to understand about Brienne is that, and all characters with alignment and stuff, she's lawful good by the way of her having her own set of rules that she sticks by. Like, she believed truly that she was doing the right thing and that she was justified because this person was the murderer of her king. So where she's coming from, she didn't do anything wrong except for avenge her lost love and her lost king. So Eric's going in the chat again.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
But yeah, we got one more question tonight. You want to read that one?
Billy, you asked us which anti-hero is the most likable.
I did. And another one of those rare occasions where one of my questions actually gets picked. But I had somebody in mind. I don't know. This is going to be really stretching it, but I can't help but like this guy, Walter White.
Oh, wow.
Now, I know what you're going to say. He has done some really, really bad things. And I agree with you. He becomes, like, he's a total shit. But just the way he does it and the fact that sometimes he will argue it. Like, he will argue to why he is doing it. And sometimes it feels justified. Other times it's like, oh, wow. But I can't help but like this guy. Even during the last season when he does arguably the worst things that he has ever done in his career as Heisenberg, I couldn't help but like this guy. And like, you wanted to see, could he get away with it? I mean, you knew he couldn't, but yeah. I'm not spoiling anything because if you have not seen Breaking Bad, do yourself a favor and just watch it because it's one of the greatest shows ever. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, it's one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. That show's amazing. My favorite character is Gail Bedecker. There's a deep cut fan. Did you want to do your answer?
All right, well, I'm going to go Game of Thrones on this one. My answer for which anti-hero is the most likable, it's got to be Bronn of the Blackwater. You can't help but sing along with him.
Sir Bronn.
Sir Bronn of the Blackwater. When he's stuck in prison, he is, as Podrick knows, he's willing to fight dirty. He's not a man of honor. He's a man of coin, but at the same time, he's like, honor for him is more about his like close knit friends, because like he's in like a areas where he's gonna end up. I think he's gonna get what are the two?
The twins.
I think he's gonna end up with the twins because he said something about
Two castles.
What's better than one castle too. So that'd be really interesting. I root for him, but he's like. I mean, he saved Jaime last season. I feel like we could talk about this. He saved Jaime last season. I don't know. I really like Bronn, but he definitely is not heroic. But a lot of the Game of Thrones people, with the exception of Brienne and Podrick, are mostly anti-heroes.
Or at least in the gray.
Yeah, like Jon Snow's willing to leave the black, you know what I mean, and all this stuff.
Audio problems again?
No, you guys sound fine.
Okay, my dad's having audio issues.
Well, maybe you can hear us with the stream. I don't know.
Tom, I 100% agree with you. Bronn is awesome. I just can't help but smile whenever he talks.
He's a good singer, too. Yeah.
Great singer.
I actually have two choices for this question. So you know what's better than two castles? Two anti-heroes. The first one being this guy right here, Rocket Raccoon. That's my dude. I love everything about Rocket. I see myself in Rocket, which sounds like narcissistic as fuck, I guess, but I don't care. Just I love him. And we all know that it's repeating for my dad. I think you're just having a problem, Dad. Can you?
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Barrett.
But it's just fun and ridiculous, and even when he does like crappy things, it makes you laugh harder than anything else. Like he literally will steal body parts of people if they don't keep an eye on him, and he's just like a ton of fun. He's a great character. My other one that I had, now my dad distracted me and I lost my other choice.
That's how I was before. I was like, oh.
Damn it. Okay, I can't think of it right now. I'll do it on the next round if I can.
Yay! He got it. He got it to work.
Man, stop that.
Keep an eye on it.
Oh, Eric.
Well, and that comes out to play later. That's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not for nothing. Like, it does have its purpose.
Yeah,
So.
I wish I could remember what I was going to say for my other one right now.
Well, when you think of it,
I will.
I will be in the chat, probably making a pun of some kind.
Most likely.
Yeah. All right. So.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for everything, Bill. Do you have anything you want to plug? Do we do that?
No, we didn't do that yet.
Yeah, I could just plug my Twitter at bbusterbill. For some reason, my follower count is going down. I don't know why. I don't really care.
We're losing subs too. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, and also you can find me on Stardust. It's Billy Goatee Paul, and yeah, I do movie reactions. I'm gonna do one tonight. I watched Born on the 4th of July for the first time. That was a very interesting movie because today is Memorial Day, and it is a very important holiday, and I have tremendous respect for veterans. So, yeah, decided to watch a movie about that, and you can find me supporting Odd Shaped Channel and making bad jokes.
Kimber remembered.
Ooh, okay.
My second choice is Maui from Moana. How did I forget that? Maui's definitely an anti-hero, but it kind of sucks for him because he really thought like he was coming from a good place, but he really made kind of like a bad, selfish decision and ruined everything for everyone. So by the time he comes back into the story, everyone kind of hates him. Like he's totally like vilified because of his poor decision making. But when you get to know him as a viewer, he's really likable. He's charming. He's funny. He's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Well, of course he's charming. He's a trickster.
Yeah, he's a trickster character. Perfect way to describe him. And the trickster from Supernatural is a good one too.
I just saw Tom Zambino say best Tom Cruise performance ever. I'm like, I pictured Tom Cruise as Maui, but then I remembered he was talking about Born on the 4th of July.
The best Tom Cruise performance ever is Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
I think it's Les Grossman is his character's name.
Just like Matt Damon's best performance is in Eurotrip with Scotty Doesn't Know.
No, it's Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. And
all right,
buddy.
Thanks as always. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem. I gotta come down to Austin sometime.
We'll be here. Come through.
I'm not going anywhere. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so up next we have Joe and Ashley.
And I'm still going to talk about Maui for a second.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I interrupted. Do you need a moment?
Yeah, what I like about Maui and the way they handled the character, just really quick, is that they kind of almost led you to believe in the marketing of this, that he was kind of going to be the hero character and that she was going to be the sidekick. But it wasn't that at all. What they delivered us was a character who ruined everything and causes nothing but problems and totally gets saved by this young teenage girl who is fully the hero of the story. And I just want to praise Disney for making that decision. That is what makes that movie the best Disney movie, in my opinion. One of the many reasons.
We say it's better than Wonder Woman all the time because it is.
Yeah, and just really Maui's hysterical and awesome and fun. And my dad hates Hey Hey, but Maui wants to eat Hey Hey, so that's likable to you. And I'll be right back.
All right, so we're going to get... Oh, hey, no!
Killed Hey Hey.
Yeah, the shelf is going to be here. All right, so why don't we get the link and everything for Joe and Ashley?
Oh,
we have some side questions, and so you guys can answer them in the chat, and we'll do a speed round. So Brandon at Brandon Hannah at Brandon Hannah 07, who I think is involved with Schmodown. I don't know. He asked us, do you think Venom as an anti-hero works, or is he best suited as a villain? Well, what I think, it depends on which Venom you're talking about. Eddie Brock, it's a little bit more gray, but he thinks he's the good guy and that Spider-Man's the bad guy. And so his moral compass isn't pointing in the right direction. So that would kind of make him an anti-hero. Like, he saves women in the alleyways from thugs. Like, he still has heroic qualities, but at the same time, he also eats brains at some points. As far as like Flash Thompson Venom, for sure. Awesome anti-hero. He was almost my other pick for sympathetic backstory, because he's a soldier who lost his legs and now has PTSD, and he's an alcoholic, and his father is an alcoholic, and it's a really good run if you haven't read it. He goes into space at some point. But I also think he's a great villain. So it depends. I think Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson, great villain. Matt Gargan Venom, don't bother with. Flash Thompson Venom, great anti-hero. That's what I think. Let's see what everyone in the chat is saying, and then I'll post the link for Joe and Ashley. All right. Jeannine says villain. We're not ready. Just push others through for now. Okay, sorry. So I just saw Joe and Ashley. Tom Zambino, are you available? Gotcha. Sorry, I missed your. Joe, stop yelling at me. Billy, all Spider-Man's villain thinks Spider-Man is villain. Okay, you're not wrong. All of them? I guess so. I mean, that's the weird thing about like the point of view of a villain, is they're of course going to think they're right. Like, that's what, like, they say that the truth has three sides: your version, my version, and the truth. So it's really, it's hard to say. I put some links down in the description of some similar content. One of the links is Nolan Dean's video essay on how to write a sympathetic villain. You should definitely check it out. It pretty much showcases Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. But yeah. Let's see here. Jeannine says Brandon, who asked this question, is a friend of Raul, and he has a show on YouTube. Film Physics. Yes, I saw that. I commented on Raul's episode because I just found that today, and I subscribed. So you should subscribe too. film physics. Eric, you should, in the future, ask the side questions as you're getting people in. I am trying to do that. It's just taking longer than I planned. I'm still waiting. Just had to move to the bar. Okay, he is now. Okay, got you. Sorry, I think there's a delay between the chat and the... So I'm going to go ahead and post a link. Go ahead, Tom, and click that. And there we go. Sorry about that mix-up. See, Kimber leaves for 2 minutes and everything falls apart. Thomas Ambino says, Venom as anti-hero in the pretty awesome. The Lethal Protector storyline. That's the one we're all saying he was like saving people in alleyways and stuff. That was a good one. Eric Monroe also says Venom is better as a villain. I'm kind of looking forward to the movie. Tom Hardy kind of sounds exactly like the animated series Venom. Or I'm sorry, the animated series Eddie Brock. And one of the most important words that is spoken in the trailer is "we," which is something they missed completely in Spider-Man 3. So, all right. So now that the side question is gone and over and done with, we can welcome our good friend Tom Zambino. Hello.
What's up, Tom?
How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? Long time no see.
Long time no see. Welcome back. We're doing great. We're living it up in Austin now. We're upstate New York was just like draining our souls. We're doing good.
I'm sure Texas might do that at some point.
Oh yeah, but I mean, at least there's something to go and distract myself here with. In New York, I'll just have to go look at a cow. So
there are plenty of cows in Texas as well. So
yeah,
they turn into steaks for.
When I saw we got Mavis, she's just patterned like a cow. So when I just look at cows, I just think of Mavis, and that ruined that. So I'm glad I'm somewhere else. All right, question 1. Oh, you asked this question. What is the most interesting relationship between hero and anti-hero?
Normally, when I ask these questions, I have an answer in mind. This was actually one of the first times I didn't have an answer in mind, and I had to just think of one today. But I'm going to go the interesting route, and stay with me here. Brian Bender from Futurama.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Because Fry is most definitely the hero of Futurama. He may be bumbling, he may be an idiot, but he is the hero of that show, and at times gets to be the big guy. But Bender is most definitely an anti-hero. He does care about some people and Fry, despite his objections to the sort. But he and Fry just have this wonderful bromance, which I'm not sure how works when one of them is a robot. But their bromance is highly entertaining, and Fry is basically the only human that Bender really cares about. So Fry and Bender.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I mean, Bender definitely is willing to break the rules or bend them. For his friend, that he's a trickster
Except
too.
for when he's trying to kill all humans.
Or the time where he's...
Hey, baby, want to kill all humans?
All right. Eric says, so a rogue romance, and I want to remind him that that is illegal in the setting of Futurama.
That robosexuality is illegal in Futurama, yes.
I am excited for his...
Oh,
it's so good. I'm excited for his new one, Disenchanted, the fantasy.
What now?
Matt Groening's new show is called Disenchanted, and it's like a fantasy-esque future pastorama.
Pastorama? Well, I mean, if it's Matt Groening, I'll give it a shot. So, all right, I'll look that up.
All right. Well, we just got a really deep comment from Kimber's dad. It says, just because you've gone through a rough and painful times and does not offer an excuse to hurt others. What choices are made between the difference between a villain and a hero and an anti-hero? I think it's your intent between those choices. Definitely, if people get hurt, you're definitely on the wrong side. But yeah, like no one's going to be like, yeah, the Punisher's a stand-up guy. Yes, we understand why he does all this stuff. but we're not like
We're not gonna like hang out with the guy.
no, he's fine. Like, but I'm not gonna mess with him. All right. So question number 2 is from our good friend Jeannine, who's driving home from Reno. Have a safe trip. I hope you're not driving and watching this. Which anti-hero has the most sympathetic backstory?
First off, Jeannine, do not get pulled over by the Reno 911 guys. Those guys are weird. You do not want to get involved with them. Just avoid them at all times. Anyway, with that out of the way, I couldn't think of a decent answer for this one until a few minutes ago when I was furiously Googling, and I went with V from V for Vendetta. Now, for those not familiar, essentially his backstory is filled with tons and tons of torture. He was basically put in a concentration camp, and experiments were performed on him that pretty much everybody who had these experiments performed on them died. He was the only one that survived in Chamber 5, hence the name V. Now, this apparently did give him superhuman abilities, but his memories before that whole ordeal were completely wiped during all this torture. So not only does this guy not remember his life before torture, but he was thrown in a concentration camp for a very long time and had experiments done on him. So he can't even remember a time when life was normal or good. So that's pretty sympathetic to me.
Yeah, that was actually one of the answers I was considering because he's just put into this position. He never asked for any of this. It's not like one of those things where it's like in Deadpool, he signs up for an experiment to help him, but he doesn't know what he's getting into. V is just kind of exploited. So yeah, I like that.
Let's just say this out loud. So
Okay.
Ashley and Joe and both Erics, would you mind if Cory goes ahead of you? It's totally up to you guys. Because he's like 4th in line right now.
Yeah, the current order is Joe, Ashley, Eric Osmacher, Eric Monroe, Cal if he's around, but I haven't seen him in a while, Cory, and then Jonathan Peck. But Jonathan might have to go do his his trivia contest, and we wish him luck. Yeah, everyone's pretty much waving the flag. We just got to wait on Joe and Ashley.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
No. All right, so while we're waiting, Nolan, at NolanDean27, asks
I know
us,
that guy.
which hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline?
I know Billy had a hard time with this one too, and I wasn't entirely sure if my original choice had one, so I'm gonna go with it just popped into my head, the super creative one that I had, and I've actually had this idea before and have thought this out pretty thoroughly, so mind my soliloquy here. So I want to see a James Bond anti-hero storyline, and not just any Bond, the Pierce Brosnan Bond. Stay with me. When I had an idea for Mission Impossible 6, where it's a James Bond Mission Impossible crossover. Now, if you remember back in GoldenEye, where Sean Bean's character was a former MI6 agent, they did a similar thing in Skyfall, where became disenchanted and goes against everything from the government. So yeah, fine, but I want to see Pierce Brosnan because that guy still has charisma. You've seen him in more recent movies. He can still don the suit. He can still do the spy thing. So I would want him to cross over with Ethan Hunt and not be full-on villain, but be kind of maybe that sub-villain that thinks he's doing right. He could be in an independent spy organization where he's not authorized by any sort of government, basically a rogue at this point, and ends up competing with Ethan Hunt, but using means that are unconstitutional, let's say. And eventually has to have an end confrontation with Ethan Hunt. And of course, they go over their philosophical differences. And it gets resolved. I'm not a writer, so obviously this isn't completely thought out, but Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, anti-hero.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
I like that, especially because like Pierce Brosnan's like the most white bread of all of second most white.
Hey, you lay off Pierce Brosnan's Bond. Pierce Brosnan was a great Bond.
I like T-Dalt.
His Q was the best part. But someone said, Eric Ossenbacher, he said, no, we need a James Bond Spy Kids crossover, and that would just mean that Robert Rodriguez would direct a James Bond film, and I'm totally down for that.
Well, I wanted to say earlier that Jeannine should stop driving home and start driving to Austin. Just turn it around.
I mean, you just got to go south. We got to convince her husband. He's the one driving. Go to Austin. It's not that far.
But yeah, very cool. We're on the last question?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so who do you think is the most likable anti-hero?
I'm shocked that no one said this one beforehand, so I'm going to jump on this one, Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Because Wolverine, short answer, Wolverine is just too damn cool not to like. He's the classic badass. He's the classic cool guy. Even had the trademark leather jacket and super tropey in the original movies. So yeah, it's Wolverine.
He's the best there is at what he does, and what he does isn't nice. Guy's cool. I thought of another one, and I know Billy will appreciate this, but Nathan from Misfits is another very likable anti-hero. That dude is a scumbag, like even before he gets powers, and you just love him. He's the best part of the show, so I don't know how he does it, but Nathan from Misfits is another great one to shout out for that answer.
Agreed.
So, did you have anything that you're working on that you want to plug before you get out of here?
Currently, I'm Googling Misfits to see what that is.
Oh my gosh, you gotta watch
on
Misfits.
YouTube.
Okay, so Misfits is a British show. I don't want to compare it to Heroes because it's really so different than Heroes, but it's like this group of kind of rough hoodlum teenagers and early young adults get superpowers in a freak storm, and it's got a great cast like Ewan Rion, who's Ramsay on Game of Thrones, is in it, and a couple other recognizable faces. The dude from Preacher is in it later. But the first 3 seasons are amazing. I would recommend Misfits to anybody because it has all the sex and violence that you wish a show like Heroes would have, and much more consistent writing up until the 3rd season. After that, they switch the cast, and it's not as good. But the first 3 seasons I watch on a loop. It's like one of my favorite shows. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Huh. And I would also recommend the first thing that came up when I Googled Misfits, which is the band Misfits, because Danzig is cool.
I have a Crimson Ghost tattooed on my leg, so I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that one.
Oh, nice. Anyway, I'm killing time because I have absolutely nothing to plug. I've been working a lot lately, so go buy GM vehicles, I guess.
All right.
You gotta hustle.
Oh,
and he disappeared. That's a sign off.
He's a GM ninja.
He's greatly mysterious. Okay, so while I'm getting the link out for Cory, the next side question is from Jack. We go, speaking of anti-heroes, what about anti-villains? Who's your favorite bad guy?
Send the invite before we get into the question. That'll help save time in between. But we have Cory coming in next, yeah.
Who's your favorite bad guy? Can't quite stop doing nice things.
There's only one answer to this, and it's Dr. Horrible. He's the best bad guy who can't stop doing nice things, because the whole goal of his character is to join the evil league of evil, but he's just too sweet.
I mean...
Well, I'm not going into spoilers.
Go watch it.
But, did you have a choice?
Let's see here. Can't. Oh yeah, NoHo Hank. If you haven't watched Barry, you should definitely check it out. It's one of the best shows we've watched in a while, and it's consistently good throughout. And speaking of consistently good throughout, hi, Cory.
Hello. Hello from the Colorado Center for the Blind. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
It's really dark in there. They're not just sticking blind people.
All the light was on. So
Now, this is how I remember even back when I was in Arizona. This is just how my room is.
I thought you were going to say, back when I was in the womb. This is all I remember.
All right. So you want to get
Hold on. I want to say one thing about the Alamo Drafthouse, man. I went to what we called a butt-numbathon on Saturday, and I had never been there before. And those guys are ninjas, man. They come in, they put your check down, and I look down. I'm like, dude, I didn't even see him. I didn't.
Ninja's literally in the job description. I applied because I really liked it, so I figured I might as well. And it's like, oh, if you think you're a ninja, apply to this job. If you think you can get in and out of the shadows, like, pretty great.
Yeah, it was crazy. I love that place. I want to live there.
nice.
Check out Rent. All right, so let's get into these questions. Number one is from our previous caller, Tom Zambino, and he asked us, what is the most interesting relationship between a hero and an anti-hero?
Oh, between a hero and an anti-hero.
Yes.
I misunderstood the question. Damn.
Your dad's in here.
How did he get in?
Oh, hello.
Like,
Okay.
No, because, well, you know what? I'm going to stick to it because I picked, when I misunderstood the question, I picked Walter White and Jesse. And I think that in the end, Jesse does become heroic to a certain extent. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
fair enough. Yeah, I didn't think we'd hear so much Breaking Bad tonight, but I guess that totally makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, he goes through a lot of crap but he eventually does become heroic, and they have a fascinating relationship for 5 seasons.
Oh yeah, that show's awesome. Like, that's another one that I like to binge on repeat because, like, Tom hasn't finished the whole show yet, but that's a show that starts out good and continuously gets better all the way until the last episode. It's really like a pretty flawless and beautifully written, amazing show.
My friend. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad. My friend Megan Gregory.
No,
you know,
you're fine.
you know, probably. She just started Breaking Bad. She's like 2 episodes in. I'm like, I'm so happy for you. Because, like, I saw the thing, you know, and anybody who's going through that for the first time, I just envy the shit out of them.
Two is coming to us from Jeannine, who's driving to which anti-hero has the most sympathetic backstory?
Well, for this, it's going to be a weird answer, but for this one, I got to go with somebody who messed it up themselves. No, they weren't orphaned at a young age or anything. They actually messed up their lives themselves. And that's good old Don Draper and Dick Whitman, who is for the entire run of Mad Men, he's paying for something stupid that he did way back. You know, and when you get into his backstory, you know, his parents were jerks and whatever, but it was eventually one mistake that he made that bothered him through the rest of his life.
Yeah,
so that's
rules out though. Like, that dude makes bad decisions. Like, he's hard to it's like hard. I feel bad for his initial backstory, but that dude makes bad decisions.
Well, the thing is, like, his foundation is already cracked at that point.
Yeah,
so it's just gonna rot out.
That's exactly right, and that messes him up. Like, because we would say, you know, if like even Batman, who kind of pops up, you know, in these discussions, we say, hey man, your parents got killed, get over it. You know, I mean, people have been saying that for years, but with him, he made his own mistake.
Yeah. No, we hear you.
Oh, okay. He made I thought that audio had gone out again. Yeah, he made his own mistake. He has to deal with the consequences of it, but nobody can really, say get over it because he's the one who made the mistake. That's why it's sad to me.
Yeah.
That's why he's sympathetic.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he's a great example of an anti-hero too. Great choice.
You're 2 for 2, Cory.
Thanks.
Number 3, which hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline? That's from our good friend Nolan.
Okay, I had nothing for this. I was less prepared than Billy, but I swore to myself by hook or by crook that I would come up with something. And I came up with Beck from Tron Uprising because he is born to have an anti-hero storyline because he's the renegade and he's the masked hero and all this stuff. But if you remember how Tron Uprising ended, it ended with the entire Clue army marching into his city. And I would love to see where he ends up drinking and just collapsing under the weight of all those troops. And yeah, and then going off and just doing terrible, terrible things because he thinks he's lost and all that stuff. I would love to see that season. Would love to.
I'd like to see Samwise Gamgee as an anti-hero.
That actually had crossed my mind. But I thought of sort of Samwise as like him trying to run the Shire because he's mayor for 100 years, and him getting involved in all kind of corrupt Shire politics, and but that's all I could do.
Nice. All right, one more for you tonight because I know you can't stick around too late. Which anti-hero do you think is the most likable? And that question's from Billy.
Lena Inverse. Lena Inverse from Slayers. She is an anti-hero because all she does is blow up people's towns. That's pretty much, and then goes and has dinner. But I just love her. She is so fun. I laugh at almost everything she says. Always.
It's funny you bring up Slayers because I was putting some links to some like-minded content, and I put a link to our good friend Morgan Robinson, who did an episode of Comic Flick Through, where he just looks through a comic and reads some of it and stuff like that. Does Jessica Jones and Slayers in that episode. So that's linked down below if you don't know what Cory's talking about.
Yeah, Slayers is cool, and you don't realize she's an anti-hero until halfway through the first season when you realize she just leaves smoking destruction behind her wherever she goes. It's kind of like Team America that way.
Nice.
and and she's pretty upbeat about it, and whatever, but she is absolutely just the most fun. Hey, a Mavis sighting.
Here's our little anti-hero.
Panda Watch.
Panda.
All right.
How's Mavis handling the move?
Oh, she's fine. She's chilling. She's the best cat.
She was the champ, man. MVP. She complained less than I did the whole move.
Right on.
All right.
Okay.
We do all 4 likable.
Yeah, I think you gotta ask him if he has anything he wants to plug or
do you have anything you want to plug or say?
I am at GeoMetroid on Twitter. I love getting messages and answering people, and I'm all over the Game Fixers now. I'm all over those shows, and with my partner Mac Poole, who some of you may know. And I'm not doing too much now because I'm basically going to this school for the blind, and it's like a 7-day week for me here.
Yeah.
It's crossing streets blindfolded. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen me on Facebook talking about that. That's not me making things up. That's actually what I do now. But
well, so
it's all, huh?
So well, we're wishing you luck with it all.
Oh yeah, but I will answer you. Yeah, I mean, I'd answer you right away, but I will answer you if you tweet me and check me out on the Game Fixers Network.
Will do, buddy. And thanks for coming by. We always love to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I wanted to jump on today and and say hello because it's been a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, welcome
Well,
back.
we appreciate you, and thank you again for supporting us through Patreon.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
All right, now we're going to be posting the link into the chat again
For Ashley and Joe.
Ashley and Joe, and then Raul, are you calling in tonight? Let us know.
Want to hear some SuperNet answers?
And hello, Matt, Bear Mongolia.
He's so far.
But he's still local in my heart. All right, side quest, last one. Guys, think of your 4-man anti-hero team. Who would you pick? What would your A for anti-hero team be? A team hero.
Can you hear us?
The galaxy. No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, we're having camera problems at the moment.
Oh, no.
Your logo looks crisp.
So we're having camera problems at the moment, so we're just going to call in vocally.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to listen to the soothing sounds of Joe and
One second. 1 second. One second.
Yes, and everybody, please support Jeannine. She designed this logo and many, many others. She's very talented and wonderful, and support her.
And I love Eric's answer of his 4-man team or person team. Agent Venom, Deadpool, Proto Man, and Prince Zuko from Season 2. Really good answer.
It's very specific.
I would probably go Red Hood. The Hood from Marvel, who had the Norn Stones. Then we can do like a whole Hood thing. Robin Hood.
You're doing a Hood theme?
And then Little Miss Riding Hood.
What about the Hood from Marvel?
I'm grabbing...
I said the Hood from Marvel.
Oh,
the guy with the Norn Stones.
Mad Mardigan. Rocket Raccoon. Beetlejuice. And...
Are you just looking at figures? Boba Fett.
No, I'm picking good ones.
Boba Fett's not it. Well, I guess.
Right. A Tyrion Lannister. So those are my choices. Mad Mardigan, I have no merch. So
it's hard to find Willow merch nowadays.
Huh?
It's hard to find Willow merch nowadays.
I have a very old Willow toy. You want to see it? It's just not Mad Mardigan.
Oh, Tib.
This is from Willow.
Nice. I think I remember those toys.
Not even fancy. My dad had a ton of Willow pins when I was a kid. We just had bags of pins. I don't know where he got them from, but I wish we still had them.
Fair. Well, we're ready for questions.
Okay. Real quick, just going to read Billy's answer to the side question, which is Deathstroke, Black Adam, Han Solo, and Eric Draven.
It's a crow.
Yeah. It's weirdly one-sided on one end, but then whatever on another. No, Willow too. And I'm going to let you conduct this interview.
Okay. I'll talk to my friends.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
Oh, there she is. All right. Question number 1. What is the most interesting relationship between hero and anti-hero?
You go first.
Considering the movies primarily, I actually got I had a change of answer recently. Originally, I was going to say Deadpool and Colossus because that is a pairing I had never expected before. But after seeing some comic clips earlier today, I'm going to go with Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Cool.
Because it's very much a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this one was a challenging one for me. I'm not sure if this 100% counts, but I was thinking Luke Cage and Jessica Jones because he's definitely more of the heroic one and she's definitely more of the I could just care less about doing this and why do I have to do this? And and especially in season 1 they had a really good rapport. I like seeing them together, and I know that they have like a lot of stuff going on in the comics too. But just seeing the TV stuff is great.
Yeah, I totally think that counts. You're good there. And thank you, Raul, for your compliment on our wall. I appreciate that. So question number 2 is, which anti-hero has the most sympathetic backstory?
For me, it's and I don't even like this character that much, but it's Punisher, because he is like the kind of crap Batman went through if Batman was a full-grown adult and losing the other half of his family, kind of thing. It's I can understand the kind of things he does. I don't think it's right, but I can understand it from his point of view.
For sure. Understandable. Ashley?
I'm gonna go with Jessica Jones again, because like all the stuff that happened to her when she was a child, like especially like if you go with the TV story origin where she was experimented on, and then having to deal with like Patsy's mom like being like the surrogate mother, and she was also like real abusive and didn't like really care for her. Like it's easy to see like how she would turn into the way she is as an adult, and why she could be taken in by someone like the Purple Man and whatnot. She's very vulnerable.
The surly alcoholic that she is.
Yeah, and the second season really opened up her backstory too and went into it more, even with like her own biological mother causing problems in her life. I'm not going to get too spoilery with all that, but yeah, definitely for sure. And I think there's a lot of women who can really relate to dealing with dudes like the Purple Man, myself included. And if it was just that part of her backstory, it would be sympathetic. But with all of it put together, she arguably it really is one of the most sympathetic backstories that you get for an anti-hero like herself.
Yep.
All right. Question number 3. Which hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline?
This one's really challenging.
Yeah, this is a good question, but it's definitely, I think I have like probably the most bizarre answer that you're going to hear this evening. I would really love to see the anti-hero version of Atticus Finch. Like him just kind of like basically being like Daredevil, where like during the day he's a mild-mannered attorney helping people, but at night he goes and delivers the vigilante justice for what he can't solve in the courtroom in the Great Depression era of Alabama. I think that would be the best comic book run ever, and please somebody make that.
Nice.
More talented than me.
I think I'd like to see like an anti-hero like Thor move. I don't know if it's been done before, but I think that'd be really interesting.
Like who?
So
That's Thor.
Because especially just seeing him just cut loose with little regard, because that's kind of Thor's MO. Is he's very shepherdly in most cases, and to see him just kind of like have little regard for anyone else would be interesting to see.
Nice. Yeah, there are no wrong answers for this question, really. Like, I considered saying Kermit the Frog, so...
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, just go for it. All right.
I've seen a GIF of Kermit the Frog doing that white powder in the past few days, so I've seen some things.
Or in the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, where Mr. Rogers like obliterates everybody.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't already know this, Kermit the Frog's original conception was for coffee commercials. Look up Kermit coffee commercials, which he kills someone in every single commercial.
It's true.
Jeez.
He did have an anti-hero storyline. Okay.
I want to exploit that.
Yeah. One last question for you guys, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to say because it's a really open question. Which anti-hero do you find the most likable?
Honestly, and I know this is kind of a playoff answer, but Deadpool, because he's fun, he's comedic, and he doesn't take himself seriously. And that's honestly the biggest issue I have with most anti-heroes is they take themselves way too seriously. And he understands he's kind of a joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say Deadpool as well, because I love anything that has meta humor and breaking the fourth wall and things that are self-aware, so that's just right up my alley, and I think you can have a lot of fun with that. And I think all the different mediums that he's been in, that they've had a lot of fun with this character, and I just think there's a lot of joy to be had. Even though it's super violent, it can still be funny and fun.
And he's got a heart of gold.
Deep down, yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds in the movies in particular really adds a lot of charm to the character. Like you could have cast somebody who would have made this character just obnoxious and without the heart that he has, but you could tell he really loves being Deadpool. He is a guy who has all the qualities that you want in a Deadpool and a great voice for it. But again, with enough charm to carry the character and elevate
Oh,
him
yeah.
to where he's not just obnoxious.
I mean, Martin
Agreed.
Short would make a great Deadpool.
I do not disagree, actually. Or you know what, Steve Martin.
Oh god,
Old
the
school.
jerk, Deadpool.
I want to see that now. That would be so great.
That's so old. He's almost Deadpool.
And if they had the whole concept the comics do, where they have these separate yellow boxes that he actually talks to, have like some other comedian from that era, like Martin Short or Bill Murray, be the voice of those other yellow boxes.
I would want it to be. I mean, he's the voice for everything, but who's unfortunate events?
Oh, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, he would be great because when you like play the video game and stuff, it's those yellow boxes are very heroic. They're like,
yeah, but you could do Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that'd be great too.
Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah.
Voices like everything.
Let's see. Billy says that Ryan Reynolds isn't acting like Deadpool is just an excuse for him to be himself. Which
I think it's a lot of it is that perfect storm casting where you get the actor that's just so perfect for that role. It's like, and I know he's different in the movies than he is in the comics, but like Dave Bautista has completely embraced Drax, and it's to the point where he's ad-libbing in the movies now, and they use it.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah, I have to say I prefer Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds over Will Smith being Will Smith.
I agree. So
nice. Hey, Langley, how you doing, buddy?
All right. Well, real quick before I let you folks plug your stuff, I would like to remind everyone in the chat that I did put some like-minded content down in the description, and Geeks My Nerds is one of them. It's their Rogue One Plus episode from Rebellion to Resistance, and they talk about the Force Unleashed video games. Even think about the holiday special, which is the birth of Boba Fett, as well as Rogue One, who are the biggest anti-heroes of them all. He says enthusiastically. But besides that, you can also see our good friend Brian. We Geeks My Nerd, Odd Shape channel, Brian. We all also work under the Tough channel under Jack Shipley.
Are you talking about Dad?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Internet Dad, Brian. He has a episode of DVD Bunker, episode 26, of the 1989 Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie. So,
which, by the way, 26 is the most anti-hero of numbers.
I completely agree. It's just 13 times 2.
Right?
It's metal.
Number 26. All right, so if you guys would like, why don't you plug what you guys have coming up and where people can reach you?
Well, you can reach us on Twitter where I'm at the Spice Must Joe.
And I'm at _Mrs. Davis.
And you can find us communally at Geek to My Nerd with underscores between each word. And then tomorrow night we're having our solo episode of From Rebellion to Resistance, where we discuss this most recent addition to the Star Wars universe.
And now that I'm solo, I don't know where Kimber went. I'm scared. But I mean, Han Solo, another likable and great example of an anti-hero. I don't know how they framed him in this, but you're gonna have to watch Joe and Ashley's episode to find out. I haven't seen Solo yet. I'm probably not going to see it in theaters, but that's just me. Let's see here. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Good luck with everything. You. And we love you.
Y'all take it easy. Have the rest of your enjoyable video as well. And we love you too, Tom.
Okay, I almost got really upset. Have a great night.
Y'all too. Bye.
All right, we are out of side questions, but that is a new segment that I wanted to introduce because you guys send in such good questions every week that I feel bad that we can only pick 4. So whatever, I'm going to try to grab some other questions and mix them into the loop, but we're out of those, so no more of them. We don't need them. Up next is Raul, if Raul is ready. And I'll send him an invite real quick. And Raul is one of our patron producers, and he has been a supporter of ours since day one, just like Joe and Ashley. So we like to thank everyone who's joined us along the way, as well as stuck us out since the beginning. Yeah. So while we're waiting for that, let's see what else we got coming up. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, because Deadpool 2 just came out, Quinkadink, me and Eric Ossemacher did an episode of the Down Pilot podcast, which discussed the first live-action X-Men endeavor, Generation X, that Fox had made 3 episodes of, turned into a TV movie. You can definitely check out that podcast on our channel, as well as a bunch of other great content. Here's the list so far. And I'm just waiting to hear confirmation from Raul that he's definitely calling in and that he got a link, or do I have to send him something else? We'll find out. Langley, you should check out the podcast and find out how it was. Panel, our Twitter, and I was wondering about our streaming content as far as me gaming, and whether or not you wanted me to stay on YouTube or go to Twitch. Where it stands right now, last time I checked, Twitch was in the lead. I would like to say that more people have voted in this poll than have watched the stream. So Twitch may be making more sense at this moment because that's already attracting new people. We'll see how that goes. But I will, whatever I put into Twitch, because I know not everybody has the money to subscribe, especially our patrons who are already giving us some of their well-earned cash. Raul, if you can hear me, I'm going to throw a link in the chat. I don't know if you got the invite. So, where was I going with that? Whatever. Too important, right? I forgot. So here's the order. If Raul calls in, it's Raul. Then we are back. We're off the Fast Passes. Fast Passes are for $5 and up patrons. Then the call order is Eric Ossemacher, Eric Monroe, if he's still around, and then Jonathan Peck. And Langley, if you want to call in, I can add you to the list. Let me know. I don't know if Raul's around. I think Raul forsaken us, so we might have to move on to Eric. Eric Ossemacher, if you would like to click that link in the chat, you may. Because nobody just wants to, I'm just rambling. I'm losing viewers by the second. They didn't come here for me. They came here for you guys. Nice.
All right.
I'm losing viewers
Hello.
by the second.
I just need to
They didn't come here for me.
I just need to set a couple of things up here real quick.
We're in a time loop.
I actually was not expecting this this audio to already be going through my headphones. So, hello. Hello.
Okay, sorry that Raul was trying to call that whole time. Sorry it's not working out, Raul. You know we'd love to have you here, but we can always give it another shot if you want.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, my compadre, my partner in crime, my comic book aficionado / Pokemon news anchor.
But for the record, I'm pretty sure we are technically vigilantes in law.
Look, that will all get cleared up. I'm clearly out of police custody. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out that episode of Downpile Podcast. It has skits now. We have skits now.
We do bits.
There's skits and bits.
Skits and bits.
That's the new catchphrase. H3 has goofs and gaps, and we got skits and bits. All right. So, question number 1.
All right.
What is the most interesting relationship between hero and anti-hero from Tom Zambino?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a very me answer, and I'm going to answer. I'm gonna go with the from the Rooster Teeth produced Day 5, which is a sleep apocalypse drama that's only for their first members. Which it's fantastic, by the way. It's absolutely worth the first membership just to watch the show. It is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to go with Dr. Abrams and pretty much everybody else in the main cast, because for those of you who don't know, in season 1, Dr. Abrams, he's this doctor who's sort of, because if you fall asleep, you die in this world. So he's working towards creating a cure to allow people to sleep, because he found out that it's not the delta waves that kill you, it's the beta waves. So he's trying to create a drug to sort of go past the beta waves, go right into delta waves, and it just causes like these weird nightmares. You can only do it for 10 minutes, and then or else you'll die. And it's like his whole thing. But the way he gets to this is that he winds up essentially murdering a whole bunch of kids trying to create this drug. And it's like, well, that sounds like a real antagonist move, don't you think? Well, it progresses further from that. He saves a main character from getting a lobotomy. It's a whole thing. And pretty much anybody in this show that's not the cause of the sleep apocalypse is pretty much a hero, at some point, at least an anti-hero or above. So yeah, go watch that show, by the way. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm kind of surprised no one has brought up any of the like romantic relationships between heroes and anti-heroes, like Catwoman and Batman, or Black Cat and Spider-Man.
Yeah. Langley's asking
Deadpool
for the
and
name.
Colossus.
And Langley's asking for the name of the show. It's Day 5. It's only for first members, unfortunately. But I do have a first membership, so if you really want to watch it, you could probably just bum off mine or just get a free month. Go watch the show. There's only like 14 episodes of it right now. There's like 6 in season 1, 8 in season 2. But the entire show is fantastic. The entire first season takes place in Texas, so I'm gonna probably do a whole bunch of answers to that for the Texas episode. I'm waiting for what those questions are, and I'm gonna try to answer those, because it both takes place and was shot in Texas. So because
so it's live action.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm familiar with most of the Rooster Teeth stuff being animated or overs.
Yeah, they it's like essentially after they did their movie Laser Team, they started to do a huge push into like premium live action content. They've done obviously a sequel to their movie. They did Bloodfest. They did Day 5, and they've done Crunch Time, which was another amazing show, which actually has Sam Levine from Freaks and Geeks in it.
Okay.
So
interesting. They've come a long way.
Yeah, and they're also Austin based.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean they're huge. They got like hundreds of employees now.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right, so number 2, anti-hero with the most sympathetic backstory.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna have an answer, but I'm gonna need you guys to mute your speakers, because it's gonna have a lot of spoilers for Steven Universe, and I don't want to spoil you guys. So
we need a signal.
So I will give you a thumbs up signal when I'm all done. All right. Just let me know.
I'm trying to figure out how to mute myself.
No, just literally turn off your volume on your. Okay, you're good. All right. So my answer is Lapis Lazuli, because her entire backstory is so tragic. Because first she's just this bystander in the middle of when this gem war breaks out. She's just trying to do her job, which is like terraforming, and all that winds up happening is like she gets punched in the back by bismuth and then thrown into a mirror and trapped there for literally like 5,000 years. And then and pretty much and then in Mirror Gem and Ocean Gem, Steven frees her from this mirror, and then all she does, she fucking takes the ocean and just lifts off with it and just like, bye, peace, I'm out. And then it's like, but then towards the end of the season, the answer that I alluded to last time I brought up a Steven Universe answer, she essentially forces herself into a fusion with probably one of the worst gems we've come across so far, Jasper, and she's literally just just blowing away into her entire psyche into this, and just putting this entire constant mental strain on her for months, and it just wrecks her for the rest of the season and pretty much for the rest of the series at this point, because damn. All right, that's it, I'm done.
Oh no. We're trusting that you were. Oh no, Langley! I was trusting Eric.
I might have accidentally dropped an F-bomb, but
we
that's
were
about
giggling because of Tom's joke, and then I couldn't unsee it, and he's going like this and everything.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to make sure that I do extra hand gestures so that they're like, what is he talking about?
Oh, that's like the funniest thing I've seen, except for earlier in this week. I almost saw Spider-Man get arrested. Because there's this
like somebody dressed as Spider-Man or Tom Holland.
No, a guy dressed as Spider-Man, because I work on 6th Street, which is like the busy street downtown, and it can get wild out there. And there's this dude who's always panhandling dressed as Spider-Man, but he had like an altercation with this long-haired death metal dude, and the cops were there questioning Spider-Man. He was across the street, and he was just really expressive with his hands and like in character being Spider-Man, almost getting arrested. It was pretty funny.
Pretty much that sounds almost spot on from everything that I've heard about Austin from Rooster Teeth. So yeah.
All right, and with that, is Austin the most anti-hero city in Texas? Find out. No. Which hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline?
Yeah, so this is one that I was just like, oh, what am I gonna answer? And honestly, I'm like, it's like, I'm just like, I'm probably gonna have to just come back to this one because I still have like nothing.
All right, well, the I guess now second to last one is which anti-hero is the most likable?
Yeah, yeah. So the answer that I'm probably gonna have to go to, and the reason that I specified season 2 in my breakdown of anti-hero teams is Zuko, specifically from season 2, because if you really break down to it, it's just like this is what should be his lowest point. He has essentially been as like a level further from his already banishment from his hill country. He's essentially on the lam. He's like working towards bettering himself, and then it's just like you can go through the whole thing with him and Iroh just sort of trying to do the right thing. We get a whole bunch of interactions with like him and like him almost turning good, but then like the last second he manages to turn on everybody and go back with the sister, and it's a whole thing. And then it's just like in season 3 onward, he's just like feeling so awful about that the entire time, and it's such a good show and such a great character.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good, and that mask looked cool.
No fan, yeah.
All right. Well, which hero would benefit from an anti-hero storyline? Robin as
Tommy Pickles.
Oh no!
I don't know. It's just the only thing that came into my head. I watched the Rugrats movie earlier today. It's Tommy Pickles.
All right. Well, that's the most unique answer of the night. Eric, besides people seeing you on Downpile Podcast, which is found right here on Odd Shape Channel, where else can they find you?
Yeah, you can. Like Cory was saying before, on the Game Fixers, we specifically have a podcast which is myself, him, Zach, and Mac, where we talk about movies that are rated rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and discuss whether or not they should really be there. We literally just recorded an episode earlier today. Recording, so we got episodes going all the way through July right now. So yeah, watch those as they come out. Still right now, the most recent episode is still the Rat Race episode. If you haven't watched that, at least go watch the end of that where I pitched the sequel to Rat Race. It's fantastic. Go watch that. I want that movie made.
Billy brings up a good point, Eric. You might have to think of another answer for your benefit from an anti-hero storyline. Tommy almost killed Dill in the movie.
Yeah, I know. That's such a great scene. I love that scene so much. There's so much to that scene. It's
Eric Monroe says he loves Angelica. Of course you do. She's the Stannis of that show. He thinks she's the queen.
Yeah. That's Angelica in Rugrats in Paris is probably the best that character ever gets, and it's just like because Rugrats in Paris is such a great movie, but I also just have a soft spot for the first one too.
I mean, I love the Go Wild. So.
I hate Go Wild with a burning passion. You know this.
Come on, Tim Curry. It's the best Tim Curry movie ever.
No, the best Tim Curry in a Rugrats movie is still the first one because he's also the news anchor Rex Pester. He's basically early G. Gordon Godfrey.
Langley agreed with my stance analogy. That's great. Okay, well, thank you so much, Eric. We'll see you soon, and I will talk to you about when we're doing our next podcast.
All right, yeah. See you soon.
Adios.
I was gonna do a Mavis bye. She won't wait.
All right. Up next is Mr. Eric Monroe.
You're gonna call on Eric after you were just talking smack?
Yeah. I want his reaction. He wants to show you a Willow toy. Should be fun. Problem. Glad you stopped by and said hello.
We miss you. Come through.
I like JetBlue. I don't know why everyone's saying Delta.
I don't know if JetBlue flies to these airports with me.
JetBlue is the hippest airline there is. They're not going to fly.
Snacks.
They're not going to fly to Austin.
You're sweet, babe. I can show you guys the plaque that I got for work when I go to work tomorrow. I'm going to put that in my station. I'm pretty proud of it.
She was hustling last night. What did you do, 8 tattoos in
I
one
did
night?
8 tattoos last night, yes, on one shift.
Picked her up at 2:30 in the morning. All right, Jonathan, sorry it didn't work out. Good luck with your movie trivia.
Is Eric the last caller? Or?
It's Eric, then I'm going to have to try Raul one more time, and then Jonathan.
Well, Jonathan's leaving.
Well, Jonathan has to go, yeah. But good luck. We wish you the best. Tell them that they better watch out. You're part of the odd-shaped crowd. Oh, my God. OSC. Odd-shaped crowd. I just screwed up there, but it actually worked out pretty well.
They like my side.
You should ask everyone in the chat about skits and bits. You missed the skits and bits part. I'm making a t-shirt that says skits and bits.
Did you send that invite to Eric?
Put a link in the eye.
I just made my hair orange so I can try to be all like these wonderful gingers in the group.
Aren't you glad we met all these nice gingers?
I am.
There. I need your email, buddy.
You went a little polished.
My cousin, the pool guy. Oh, hits, skits, and bits. Langley, you're on top of it. Well, see, that doesn't work for Down Pilot Podcast, though, because they are not hits. They are lows.
They're just shits.
So lows they got dropped. Down Pilot Podcast. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. We might hang out with Tom's new friend tonight.
Yeah. Friend from work, Union, who's super curious in podcasting, so we might have a new staff member in the house. Who knows? Who knows? We're making them watch Westworld tonight, so that's the curriculum it takes. You guys mixed this.
We can try Raul again. He's also having problems with his phone there.
Okay, go to the phone. My phone won't work. Wow, that's weird. I don't know why we're having such problems with phones tonight. Matt, did you want to call in by any chance? Oh, John's got it.
Last call for callers.
Last calls. If not, another 2 weeks, because we do this every other week. Next one will be an OSP and Chill, where we'll talk about recent news. Whatever's happening. it's Q&A. So we'll put up a post, and you guys can send us questions about what's your new favorite thing to do in Austin.
Do you want to try to send Raul a link again? Or?
Yeah, I'll try Raul one more time.
In my head, Raul's email address is sweetboyraul@gmail.com.
No, it's sweetboyraul@perfectmail.com. Oh, Eric's in the basement. He means business. Other than that, we're cooking up some new content here and there. We just started working, so Kimber's been working the whole time. She's been in Austin, but I just started working. So it depends on the schedule whether or not those things will be live or pre-recorded or boring.
No, I'm just tired.
Does he mean Billy Business? I don't know.
Matt just wanted to say that Yondu is by far his favorite anti-hero, hands down.
From the MCU, of course. Well, unfortunately,
I think Eric is going to the basement.
Oh yeah, we got
a few minutes.
We'll give Eric some time. It's useless.
Did you try clicking the link in the chat?
Yeah, he tried that first, and then I called directly.
No, but I want to say
our
hi to
sweet
Raul.
boy.
I was watching Lady Gaga concert right before the show.
Raul.
We're getting robbed right now of Raul's company. Even Mavis gave me a funny look.
Well, Eric also.
All right, I popped back in to help you guys kill time.
Hey, how's it going?
So I guess I could throw in some quick Pokemon Go stuff. So right now they're doing the Adventure Week, which they did last year, but they're doing it again. So right now it's all boosted rock types. You got reduced buddy walking distances and like extra experience at Pokestops, which is basically useless. Well, technically, since you probably got a whole bunch of stops you've never visited before. So essentially, if you just go around Austin and spin all those stops, you'll just probably level up essentially.
Okay.
So I think with a lucky egg and with a whole bunch of new stops, I think it's like 2,000 experience per stop. All right, looks like Eric Monroe's here. Later, guys.
Bye, other Eric. Hey, Mr. Monroe. I cannot hear you.
Can you see me?
Oh, okay. Now I can. Okay, I can see and hear you, which is very soft. Let me turn you up a little.
Hey,
there we go.
I can see you on my phone, but I can't see you on my screen.
Weird.
Oh, okay.
I think there's going to be a delay then.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay.
So I'm just going to read the questions and you answer them whenever you hear me.
There is a delay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try to call in again?
No. I'm just going to read the questions and then you answer them when you hear them. What is the most interesting relationship between a hero and anti-hero?
Should I try to call in again?
I guess. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know what's happening.
The most interesting Kimber. Oh. Wait.
It's
hold on.
so bad.
What happened?
Eric will be right back. He couldn't see or hear us on his screen, so he was trying to record while listening to us live on YouTube, but there was such a lag that he was like, should I hang up? No, I'm just going to read the questions, but he didn't hear it for like 3 minutes. Well, that was great. You know why? Cory said Tron before. That's why nobody can get in.
You know, I can show them.
For sure.
Let me see if I can do this. So the front of my shirt is really cool. And then look, the back of the shirt has all this cute shit on it. Look at that. I felt like I had like a waka waka moment just now.
Tomato comes out of nowhere. All right. Well,
Is this any better?
Can you see us or hear us? Are you there, buddy?
Hold on.
Eric, can you see me? Do you want to film a podcast?
Oh, you poor sweet man. I don't think he can hear us or see us.
Hold on.
Oh, we can't get a break.
Why did Cory say Tron?
If you're talking right now, I cannot hear you. Let me try to do this from my phone one more time.
Maybe.
Can you call me directly at Eric? Hold on. Hold on.
We can just get him to tell us the answers, maybe.
I can't even tell if you can hear me.
I won't let you because you're in the call with him. Sometimes.
Okay, wait. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hit the chat with yes. Oh, what?
Can you hear me? Okay, I know you can hear me. I'm doing this through like my phone and my computer, so we can make this work. We can make this work. Can you hear me?
Eric, what is the most interesting relationship between a hero and an anti-hero?
Okay, I'm only on like a 10-second delay. So my answer to question 1 is, Kimber, you mentioned him, Mad Mardigan and Willow. Mad Mardigan and Willow from Willow. I love their relationship. Of course, Willow is the hero, and Mad Mardigan is the anti-hero. And I love how Mad Mardigan, in the beginning, really doesn't care. He's just trying to save his own skin, but he ends up caring about the mission, about Allure, about the whole thing. And I love the relationship. I love Willow. And since I can see that my camera is working, Kimber, this is the one piece of Willow merchandise I do own. It's the character of Eric, who was Mad Mardigan's friend. And he was on a stand when I was little, but I ripped him off the stand for some reason. But yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Eric, which anti-hero has the most sympathetic backstory? But
Okay, of course, this one was very easy for me to answer, and it is, of course, Stannis Baratheon, the One True King, the greatest character in history of pop culture. I think his backstory is very tragic. Number one, he had to watch his parents pretty much die before his eyes when he watched their ship go down. I know that affected him greatly. He also had 2 crappy siblings who never appreciated anything he did for them. He held Storm's End for Robert, destroyed the Greyjoy fleet, did whatever he wanted, and he was given Dragonstone when he should have been given Storm's End, but Robert was a dick, and Renly was a pompous dick. So yeah, Stannis Baratheon, of course.
Eric, which hero would benefit from an anti-storyline? I come from the future.
Now, I had a hard time with this one a little bit, but Kimber kind of inspired me a little bit with her answer of Brienne of Tarth. Of course, I'm not going to say Brienne of Tarth. And I'm going to say her apprentice, Podrick. Podrick is a very lovable character. I don't know anyone who watches the show that doesn't love Podrick, but I think it would be kind of cool to see him become like a Braun. You know, see him become, you know, into women a lot, very into women, very into him, kind of into himself. You know, I think that could be cool to see Podrick Payne become like a Braun. So Podrick.
Eric, which anti-hero is the most likable?
Okay, this is going to sound a little weird, but I'm using it as my answer. I'm going to have to say Red from the Shawshank Redemption because everybody loves Red. He's Andy's friend. Morgan Freeman plays him magnificently, but we have to remember he is a convicted murderer who admits in the movie that he did in fact commit his crime. So even though we love him and we root for him because he's Andy's friend and he's, again, sympathetic, but he is a murderer. So I'm going to say Red from the Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, do you have anything to plug, buddy? I know that you can't hear us. It's a delayed, but they can hear us.
Yeah. Just wanted to, of course, I've been very, very busy. I missed you guys. I'm glad I got on. I'm sorry it took a while. I know this is weird the way I'm doing this. But of course, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter at mmkoch. That is Koch, not Cooch. 200. Let me know what you think. Oh, and I wanted to show all the Rugrats fans this. I really do love Angelica. This was my Angelica watch I got from. I never really wore it because it's a girl's watch, but I got it from Burger King because she is my favorite character in Rugrats.
The worst. Well, thank you so much, Eric. We love you.
And yeah, there you go. I miss you guys. Hopefully I can get this working better next time. Try to figure this out. I'm sorry. I love you guys too.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye.
It's live.
It's because everyone loves Eric. He's worth it. We want to hear Eric.
And I want to reiterate, Cory said the bad word, Tron, which always brings on technical difficulties. He should know this. He's not an amateur. You can find me on Twitter at OddShapePanel for all of our upcoming events and my thoughts on pop culture, or you can talk to the more interesting Twitter account
at Kimberbatch_OSP.
And if you really want to, you can find pictures of Mavis at Magic Mavis.
I think, is it Magic?
It's Magic_Mavis.
OSP? No.
No, I think it's just Magic.
If you look up
maybe Magic Mavis. It's Magic Mavis. Also on Instagram at OddShapePanel and at Kimberbatch_OSP. Do those things. Keep a lookout for upcoming content. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we love you guys. And I see the viewers dropping like flies. So we will see you all in 2 weeks for an OSP and shit.
And keep out for any streams that might come up during then or some other project that we might be working on. We love you. Have a great night. Down.